I was focused on just writing raps back when I was in school. Like that's literally the hook. So I've been writing like since school, and I had to go back to school and learn how to write Afrobeat records. On Instagram with 600,000-700,000 views. Like that's how my freestyles are looking. So I could spit bars top down with pressure. Like that's nothing for me. That's very easy. So to writing raps was I really then started, getting fun with it, wanting to really play and show my expertise. And that would take me a little bit of time. I was always chilling, right? The day before I wanted to cook some shit. And then getting to Afrobeats, it was like, damn, yeah, it would take me about a week.
Yeah.
A week or two, I'd have to sit with the beat. He sent me the beat 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance, and I'd have to, one day I'd just be able to come up with the hook, and then I'd have to sit some time on with it, and then the verse would finally hit me, and then it wasn't, I had to really start all the way again, just like when I had started writing raps.
Yep.
I've been writing raps since I was in school. I got a verse in the weekend. My hook literally says, I was focused on just writing raps back when I was in school. Like that's literally the hook. So I've been writing like since school, and I had to go back to school and learn how to write Afrobeats. Like just because of when it comes to music, I don't listen to music per se. I study the structure, because the structure of their syntax and everything that's done, both in the syntax and the verses, and then the song structure. The same how a sentence has structure in the way that it's formed, whether it's a question but then break it down to the parts of the sentence and the words and the letters. So there's different levels of structure. And in seeing that in music, I was able to break down what sounds the best that I like, that I see people also respond the best to in the types of Afrobeat structured songs. And how can I emulate those records with my touch? It sounds the same way I would do with the Afro trapping. That was that way of learning how to do something completely different and new that I hadn't yet learned or mastered before. Because I didn't, Nobody was a song that great making, but I really was just feeling the vibe at that moment.
Yep.
I couldn't say that I could do it again because I couldn't. Judah took me time to write, and I didn't even like the Judah. I told Stan originally, no, I rejected the Judah beat because I thought it was too hard.
Yeah.
That beat, and if you listen to that song, the instrumental is beautiful because it requires a real. I had to get into a real bag and write a record.
Yeah.
And prior to that point, I'd never really written a record, so I got scared away. And he said, "Nah, take some time with it. You got it." And sitting down, it came to me piece by piece.
Of course.
The whole song ain't come though, but that's how it happened. So yeah, definitely there was always a going back and learning how to do things the right way, and learning how to maximize in that way again. But like I said, that's been nothing new to me because my background being an instrumentalist, that's the foundation if you have to learn a new instrument. Because I learned how to play the clarinet pretty well, and I was good. I already had won a little thing. Then I had to start to learn how to master my basic scales on the sax. Then got to a good level, but I was way better than that. I had to learn how to play the other side. And so bringing up level when it comes to the different, that's how music always is. You might be good in one thing. I could kill you in the booth in different ways. I couldn't be at a board. I couldn't say myself to engineer for my life. I'm now learning and growing in my engineer sonic level. That's a whole other game. It means that they might not be able to do what you can do in there, but they will whip up something that you ain't never heard in your life. That's a whole other skill.
And I love the fact that you keep saying restarting, because when we get in a point in life where we think we're content with life, we're not growing. You feel me? And it's the fact that we come in encounter with these new people, different times in our life, different stages of our life, and actually see who's here to actually help us grow, because we're growing together, believe it or not. You feel me? And it's the fact that you're willing to restart. And it's crazy. So I was talking to my brother yesterday, and I told him, I was like, I said, Tim, if I asked you to read a book, would you read it? He said, yeah, I already told you I would. I said, okay. I said, the reason why I said that, I said, Tim, I done read 15 books this year. It's only June. You feel me? And the reason why I'm telling you this is because there's a lot of information out here, but in order for us to change the life that we want to have, we have to start gaining the knowledge. We have to start and taking what we can learn and actually being around people where we can speak the language about. It's not about what's in the book, because I was talking to this guy named Eli Cruz, and he called me. He was like, is this I was working. He was, are you working hardly working, or just all the above? I was like, shit, all the above. I was like, who is this? He was like, Eli Cruz. He was like, my so left me a number on my desk. Bro, I'm thinking like, who the fuck? I'm like, who? I don't remember I give my number out to a lot of people, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, I have no idea how you got my number, but I'm glad you did. Because he said that he got like over 3,700 books. So every time he's talking, he would referencing a book. You know what I'm saying? He referencing a different book. I'm just listening to him talk. He's in real estate. I said, damn. I said, it's amazing. Everything he was saying, bro, I was thinking, I was doing, I was saying. I'm like, bro, are you in my damn head? I asked him this. I said, bro, you in my head? He said, no, man, I'm just speaking from the heart. I'm just speaking. I said, bro, and it's crazy. When you're aligned with yourself, God is going to bring you people into your life at the time that they need to be brought in. Because we want success overnight, but we ain't put the time in it. You feel me? We ain't been depressed. We ain't want to give up on the process. Because, bro, I don't know about you, but I want to give up a lot of times. Bro, because the shit is hard. We can either choose our own path or create a path that's replica.
We were talking about that last night. We're talking with Stan, and DP, one of the guys that came out to come see us.
Mm-hmm.
He was up pretty late. But one of the things that I was going over, and I was letting him know about how that session went. That session where we recorded Judah. What he had said that before we had gotten the third recording, before we had then changed the mics. Because by the time we had changed the mic, it was just us changing the mic. We already had, he was like, hold it, you still got it. Change the mic quick. He was yelling at the engineer, change that shit quick.
Yeah.
Don't let him lose it.
Yeah.
So the final version was just, I was really bubbly and happy. So I won't say the last recording was difficult. It was difficult in the sense that I'm tired of singing this.
You was tired
but
of
the feedback and everything was not what I was getting for the last hour and a half. Because I stood for like an hour and a half straight recording at a point because nothing was coming out good and nothing was being felt. And then there was no coming side, it was just keep going. I'm standing on my feet.
Your shit aching.
Yeah, and I can't even sit because niggas is tight at me. So if I now decide to take a sit, nigga, stand your ass up and sing this shit, Kurt. So that's the way I'm feeling in my head. And plus Tony always said no hits is ever made sitting down. You can perform it, but you can't make it sitting down. You gotta
no hits is made sitting down.
You gotta stand up and sing that shit. Rap that shit. Real songs that felt standing up. I heard that. It was around about Tony got platinum plaques on his end too, so I can't speak to his own that he don't know. But when I was ready to stand it, punched in that after that recording, look, I don't know what you need to do. You need to kill the lights. He told him, look, kill the lights. And he's like, can you hear me? Look, Judah, you wasted time. You can't keep doing this shit. So I don't know what you need to do. The way Baltimore they say to do.
To do?
Know what you need to do. But I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. You're gonna have 5 minutes. I don't know what you need to get at. I don't know. But you gotta sing this better. And you got to everything you sang up to this point isn't good. It's just that's how it is. This is a song that listen to the words and what you're saying. This is something spiritual that people are gonna feel. People need to look. God is trying to speak through you through this song, and you need to get that in your head, and you need to sing this correct. Can't sing this wrong. So I don't know what you need to do, but do it and get this done. Alright, give him his time, and then he let it off. And I've never been spoken to like that in my life.
Brought a different type of confidence,
I didn't know how to feel because it was a whole mix of feelings. It was a tried, it was a hurt, but it was a care, it was a frustration, it was what can I do? It was an angry, it was everything at once, and I can't cry because I gotta be but it's a lot of feelings at the moment. And I said I don't know what I need to do. I don't like I don't know how to say like what.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day it's not one of those moments where I'm saying I really don't know what I did differently or what happened. I really think that God came through and spoke, because then I sang it and it hit different. And Judah went on to the point that just 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, one of my closest friends was telling me he had an anxiety attack, and the song came on and it calmed him down, and he had it on repeat, and it warmed him through his anxiety attack. I mean, that record is done. So I had one of my boys back when I dropped it said he played it in the shower every morning for 2 months straight. He listened to that song every morning. So Stan wasn't wrong when he said, this is something that people really gonna spit. And that's why that whole session really taught me something. That there's certain moments that you need to understand when we're stepping in there to do work. Like we gonna touch people's lives with this. And if we planning on doing this on this massive scale we want, this will affect people around the world for time to come. We gotta do this shit right in this session now, because what we do now, that might get that kid 20 years from now out that slum. Michael Jackson done spoken to you gotta do it right then, because God has put you in that point. That's why I said I feel it, bringing back to your point, God put you in that position in that moment to speak something that's going to last on these 1s and 2s on this vinyl forever. Forever. And if you're not ready for that moment, and you don't give what that moment deserves, I mean, you failed your destiny in my point of view. Whether or not the success keeps coming and rolling in, you failed your destiny. If Whitney Houston didn't sing the songs that she sang, the destiny wasn't done. It doesn't matter if you was successful or not. I mean, she spoke in love into the hearts of millions for generations. You did your destiny. That's what you needed to do. It's a massive responsibility to be timeless. But when you have the ability in you to make something that's timeless, you have to prepare. So like you said, you're reading a lot. That's my favorite thing about Marcus Garvey, that in Marcus Garvey's growth, NIAA, if you know that, you know that. Marcus Garvey's growth was him reading and learning from different sources and different historical figures, and Julius Caesar and Mein Kampf. Well, not Mein Kampf, couldn't have been possible, Hitler didn't write it yet. But reading other people and all those other things, learning from so many other important scholars and so many wise men that preceded him, that led him to be, at his time, the most influential black man on earth. And that was so real, because he knew that, granted, he had an ego out of this world, and not being checked correctly does that to you. But he did know that he was destined for greatness, so he heavily prepared himself for such. And he was right.